What if the sun decided to wake up? Not the peaceful sunrise we know, but a violent roar. A cosmic storm big enough to erase the world's entire power grid in a single day. Sounds impossible. It has happened before. And in 2025, it might happen again. The sun, our star, our life giver, isn't calm. It's a 1.4 million kilometer wide nuclear reactor. Every second, it fuses 600 million tons of hydrogen into helium, creating energy so intense that light itself takes 100,000 years to escape its core. When that light finally reaches us, it's not today's sunlight. It's ancient, born before humans ever existed. The sun keeps everything alive. But one day, it could also end everything we've built. Every 11 years, the sun flips its magnetic field. Imagine the entire planet Earth turning itself inside out. That's what the sun does. During this time, magnetic energy builds up. The surface boils. Dark patches appear. Sunspots, regions thousands of degrees cooler, where magnetic lines twist and not like giant cables under stress. And sometimes, those lines snap. When they do, the sun explodes. A solar flare is an eruption of X-rays and radiation bursting from those tangled magnetic fields. But an even greater monster follows, the coronal mass ejection, or CME. Billions of tons of charged plasma launched into space at over 1 million kilometers per hour. If that plasma misses Earth, we just get a beautiful aurora. But if it hits us, electricity, communication, navigation, all could vanish. This isn't theory. It happened once before. In 1859, British astronomer Richard Carrington noticed a blinding flash on the sun. 17 hours later, telegraph systems caught fire. Operators were shocked by their own machines. Auroras lit the sky as far south as Cuba. That event is now known as the Carrington event, the most powerful solar storm in recorded history. Back then, electricity was a luxury. Today, it's our oxygen dot if the Carrington event hit in our digital age. The world would go dark in minutes. Since then, we've tracked the sun's behavior through its solar cycles. We're now in cycle 25, and NASA scientists say it's unusually active. By mid-2025, sunspots have already doubled expectations. Each new flare is stronger than the last. Even now, small storms have knocked out radio signals, forced airlines to reroute flights, and painted the skies with auroras reaching Texas and France. It's as if the sun is warming up for something bigger, something we can't stop. Because when a CME heads straight for Earth, there's no shield big enough. Earth's magnetic field acts like a force field. Yes, but it's thin, delicate, and vulnerable. We might have 18 hours between detection and impact. Enough to prepare, maybe enough to survive? We'll find out. We thought we understood the sun. We mapped its spots, predicted its flares, and built satellites to watch every flicker. But prediction is not control. And control means nothing when the universe decides to remind us how small we really are. It starts quietly. A sudden burst on the solar surface, a region twisting like molten rope. Then light, a flash so bright. Satellites hundreds of kilometers above Earth register a spike that maxes out their sensors. They go blind. For a moment, the sun looks calm again. But deep inside, a storm is racing toward us at nearly 2 million kilometers per hour. NASA calls it CME impact in 18 hours. Every space agency on Earth goes into emergency mode. Power grids prepare for shutdowns. Airlines cancel transpolar flights. But there's no panic, because most people don't even know it's coming. The morning news keeps running celebrity gossip. Social media trends stay the same. No one realizes that above their heads, a wall of fire the size of 10 Earths is already on its way. Then, at 6:17 UTC, impact. The CME slams into Earth's magnetosphere like a hammer hitting glass. Currents ripple through the upper atmosphere. Auroras ignite over Canada, Russia, even Texas. But it's not just light. Invisible shockwaves of energy start crawling down power lines, overloading transformers designed for nothing this strong. In less than a minute, Quebec goes dark. Then New York. Then Chicago. Airports lose radar. Internet providers crash. The global banking network flatlines. All around the world, humans look up at glowing skies, not realizing that their civilization has just been unplugged. In London, the underground stops mid-tunnel. In Tokyo, stock tickers freeze. In Los Angeles, phones die in every hand at once. And in that sudden, perfect silence, the only thing left working is the aurora, dancing like ghost fire above a sleeping world. At first, people cheer. They think it's beautiful. But beauty quickly turns to fear when night falls and the lights don't come back. Police radios go silent. Ambulances stop. Hospitals switch to backup generators, which last only a few hours. And the aurora keeps shining, mocking us with its beauty. Inside the magnetosphere, charged particles tear through the Van Allen belts, those invisible rings of trapped radiation. Satellites start failing one by one. First GPS, then communications, then weather monitoring. In a few hours, the Earth is deaf, blind, and alone. Without GPS, planes can't navigate, ships drift off course, trains freeze, traffic systems collapse. Billions of people stare at black screens, wondering what just happened. And above them, in the cold vacuum of space, hundreds of dead satellites drift, silent tombstones in orbit, burnt out by a star's heartbeat. A CME is not light, but matter, plasma, electrons, and protons wrapped in magnetic fields. When that plasma hits Earth's field, it induces massive electric currents on the surface. Power lines, built to carry a few hundred volts, suddenly carry millions. Transformers melt. Substations explode. It's not an EMP. It's the planet itself short-circuiting. Within hours, half the northern hemisphere loses power. No internet. No refrigeration. No communication. Factories stop. Trains stop. Everything that hums, clicks, or beeps stops. The world, once electric and loud, is suddenly medieval. In New York, a mother lights a candle to comfort her child. In Paris, people stand on rooftops watching the sky ripple green and violet. In Delhi, trains are stranded, and commuters walk home in silence through streets that glow faintly under the aurora. No wars, no noise, just billions of humans sharing the same fragile moment. The moment they realize they are not in control. 3 days later, batteries die. Gasoline pumps stop. Water purification plants shut down. Food begins to rot. It's not chaos yet, but it's coming. Deep beneath the surface in a NASA bunker, scientists work by candlelight and generator hum. The data they collected before the blackout shows something terrifying. That CME? It wasn't even the biggest. Another one larger, faster, is forming behind it. And they have no satellites left to warn the world. If it hits, Earth could lose power for months, maybe years. But something unexpected happens. The first storm weakens Earth's magnetic field, but it also releases part of the energy back into space, creating a buffer zone. The second CME passes near the planet, missing us by just 600,000 kilometers. In cosmic terms, that's the width of a fingernail. The world got lucky. Again. When the skies clear, the auroras fade. The silence stays. Humanity looks up, and for the first time in centuries, feels small. The storm is over. The auroras fade. But the world does not wake up. A planet once hummed with electricity, silent. Billions of devices, useless. Billions of minds, realizing how fragile everything is. It starts with confusion. Phones won't turn on. ATMs are dead. Cars with electronic ignition, nothing. Even watches blink 0 o'clock. Civilization, one switch away from darkness. And the switch has been flipped. Day one. Panic brews beneath denial. People search for Wi-Fi signals that no longer exist. Governments declare states of emergency, but their announcements can't reach anyone. Day 2. Backup generators fail. Hospitals go dark. Air traffic controllers rely on flashlights and faith. Day 3. Silence. No news, no radio, no order. Just a world lit by candles and auroras. Without screens, people look at each other again. Neighbors share food, fire, stories. Some say it's the first real conversation they've had in years. The night sky is so bright that children can read by starlight. For a moment, it's beautiful to be disaster. With cities quiet, the earth responds. Skies clear, birds return, rivers run blue again. For the first time in centuries, our planet takes a breath without machines drowning it out. And in that stillness, a realization spreads. We never controlled nature. We only borrowed it. But beauty has a price. Without power, medicine spoils. Water systems stop. Supply chains collapse. In some cities, the fragile order breaks. Supermarkets emptied. Gas stations looted. For every community that comes together, another falls apart. The sun didn't burn us directly. It just removed the illusion that we were safe. A week later, small pockets of light reappear. Literal light. Hydroelectric plants in Norway. Diesel generators in Iceland. Nuclear reactors in France flicker back online. People rediscover old skills. Farming, trading, mending. Cities shrink into villages. The internet is gone. But human connection returns in its rawest form. Deep underground. At NASA's Space Weather Center, scientists analyze the last data received before the blackout. The sun is cooling down again, entering its quiet phase. They begin sending low-frequency signals to test what's left of the satellite network. A few signals bounce back, not many, but enough to prove that humanity still has a voice in the dark. 3 weeks after the storm, a single transmission reaches the surface. It travels across ham radios, scribbled on walls, whispered from village to village. For the first time since the lights went out, the world feels connected again. Scientists call it a solar maximum, the peak of cycle 25. It's not the first, and it won't be the last. But this one was stronger than anything in modern records. They discover something else. The sun is cycling faster now. Its magnetic field's more chaotic than expected, meaning the next storm might come sooner than we think. By the time power returns to most of the globe, months have passed, economies rebuild, satellites are replaced. But people have changed. They live a little slower, look up a little more often. When they see the sun now, they don't just see light, they see a reminder of how easily it can all disappear. Governments invest billions in space weather defense, AI systems trained to predict solar activity, shielded grids built beneath mountains. A new era of engineering born from humility. They call it Project Aurora, a ring of satellites forming an artificial magnetic shield around Earth. For the first time, humanity tries to protect itself from its own star. But some question whether we should. Should we keep building bigger shields? Or should we learn to live smaller, closer to nature, less dependent on a fragile grid? Because the sun is not evil. It's indifferent. It shines, because that's what stars do. We're the ones who forgot to prepare for its 4 years later. The memories remain. The blackout generation still tells stories of the night the sky turned green. They remember the fear and the silence that followed. But they also remember something else. The night when the world looked up together. For once. No wars, no borders, no politics. Just one species. Under one star. In the years that follow, new missions are launched. Solar probes venture closer than ever before. They touch the sun's outer atmosphere and survive. Every reading, every data point is a piece of insurance for the next storm. Because we know it will come. Maybe not in our lifetime, but it will. The sun doesn't care about our power grids or our stock markets. It has been burning for 4.6 billion years and will for billions more. We are the temporary ones. But that's what makes it beautiful. Because for a brief moment in cosmic time, we exist in the light of a star that doesn't even know our names. So when you look up tomorrow and see the sun rise, remember this. It's not a guarantee. It's a gift. A reminder that every byte of data, every spark of light, every heartbeat is borrowed from a fire 150 million kilometers away. The storm has passed. The world is different now. And yet, every morning, the sun still rises. Soft, golden, unapologetic. As if nothing happened. But humanity remembers. Across the planet, engineers restart. What's left of the grid. Lights blink. Screens glow. Airports hum again. It feels like victory, but everyone knows the system is fragile. Held together by hope and duct tape. The world has rebooted, but its heart beats slower now. Governments commission reports, hold inquiries, and quietly admit what no one wants to say. We were never ready. Every file, every satellite, every byte of data, one solar tantrum away from extinction. The question is no longer if it will happen again. It's when. So they build something new, a constellation of eye-linked satellites, forming an electromagnetic shield around Earth. It doesn't block the sun's fury, but it buys us time, minutes that could save billions. For the first time, humanity tries to protect itself from its own star. The world doesn't go back to normal. It creates a new normal. Cities use solar energy, but store it underground. Power grids are modular, resilient. Every school teaches space weather awareness. Kids grow up knowing what CME means, and that our lives depend on understanding it. Old photos of the blackout become icons of humility. Not a tragedy, a reminder. Because sometimes progress requires a reset. The storm was not the end of the world. It was a warning shot. A cosmic tap on the shoulder that said, "Pay attention." Scientists keep listening. Solar probes send back waves of data. Every pulse, every flare, every vibration of the sun is translated into sound. When you listen closely, it's not chaos. It's music. The heartbeat of creation itself. The sun never stopped burning. It never chose to hurt us. It simply exists. A reminder that power and peace can share the same source. We fear it because we depend on it. We depend on it because it's beautiful. But the story doesn't end here. Because while we study the sun, we've begun to peer at something even more mysterious. Places where light does not escape at all. Black holes. The engines of time itself. If the sun teaches us how fragile life is, black holes may teach us why it exists at all. So when you look up tomorrow and the sky turns gold, remember, every beam of light touching your skin traveled across 150 million kilometers. Through storms, through time, through chaos just to find you. Maybe that's not a coincidence. Maybe that's the universe saying, you matter. We build, we fail, we learn. Every civilization has its sunrise and its storm. This time, we survived both. And when the next cycle comes, when the sun stirs again, we'll be ready, not because we conquered it, but because we finally understood it. The sun has awakened. But beyond its light, in the deep silence of space, something darker waits. Next time we fall into the event horizon. Please like and subscribe to the channel to discover what's next.